poppin', y'all? I'm Stormy.
And I'm Jocelyn.
And you're watching Poppin', which stands for Presenting Our Perspective on Philly Youth News.
Poppin's mission is to highlight the positive things that youth are doing in the city and the youth perspective on a range of issues.
This episode is about housing insecurity and homelessness and youth facing this issue.
Housing insecurity could mean a number of things. It can mean moving from house to house, couch surfing, living in overcrowded places, or unsafe and unstable environments.
This is a serious issue in our city. On any given night, more than 800 children sleep in emergency housing.
And countless other children sleep in temporary locations, in part because emergency housing facilities are full.
Our first segment highlights a shelter in North Philadelphia. They provide food and housing for a number of families.
The Red Shield Family Residence is a welcoming place that offers non-judgmental services in order to empower residents to strive towards self-sufficiency.
I've been here a couple times. The staff are comforting. It's a nice environment, so let's go check them out.
Hey, I'm Stevie here with Poppin', and we're here down North Philly at the Salvation Army Red Shield Family Residence. And we're here checking out the services that they offer to youth and families experiencing homelessness. So let's go check it out.
Pictures painted in my head, something's trying to stop me and I.
Hi, my name is Romeo, and I'm here with Michael O'Brien, the Youth Services Coordinator for the Red Shield. So what makes the Red Shield so unique?
What makes the Red Shield unique is that, well, one thing is we take in single dads with kids. We're one of a few emergency housing facilities in the city of Philadelphia that can accommodate single dads with kids. And the other thing that makes us pretty unique is we're one of few emergency housing facilities that can also take in young boys over the age of 12 who are with their families. A lot of facilities have to separate the family when there are boys above the age of 12. So we are very proud of that we can take in like whole intact families and help them stay whole and intact.
Can you elaborate on what you said about separating youth boys over the age of 12?
Yeah, so at Red Shield, we are lucky enough to have individual rooms for every family. There's a lot of facilities that service families that are experiencing homelessness that have dormitory style living. So you might have 2 or 3 families in a really large space with bunk beds and dressers and some closet space, etc. Like they have space for their stuff, but there's a lot of people in one space. So they can't have young boys, young girls, moms, and etc. in the same space. A lot of regulations around that, and we just don't run into that here because everybody has their own room, luckily.
Could you tell us about some concrete ways you help youth experiencing homelessness?
Sure. So here we have what we call a youth services program, where we work specifically with children, school-age children 6 to 18, from having a liaison go into the schools and provide academic and behavior support, from doing homework help and just doing enrichment programming. We do that all here.
Getting to school can be a challenge. Having the mental space to deal with the workload at school while you're going through all this stuff is a challenge. Your mental and emotional health, taking care of that while you're experiencing the trauma of homelessness or dealing with any of the other traumas that can come before the onset of homelessness. Dealing with that world can be challenging.
How can people be better allies to youth who are experiencing homelessness?
I think just being informed. We've been doing a lot of advocacy in the schools, so just having people understand what kind of experiencing homelessness looks like. Not to penalize kids who come in with the same clothes every day and don't have calculators or book bags to really figure out kind of what is happening in their lives and then be able to support them accurately. So we've been working with our local school district to kind of make sure that they're aware of what experiencing homelessness looks like for kids.
This is a mandala project, a little bit of muraling that we had our young people design. These are some of the designs that didn't end up getting put on the wall yet, but and we put them up, and we're painting them. And these pictures here are actually from a photography class our kids just took last semester, and these white pieces of paper with some prompts on it are from a monologue class that they took. We try to use as much art as we can with our young people, like therapeutic arts, if you will.
What makes you care about the issue of youth homelessness?
I mean, it's always been an issue kind of near and dear to my heart. My family experienced homelessness when I was younger. A couple of times even before my birth, but even after. And, you know, my mom was actually homeless as a teen herself. She was also a teen mom. I'm the youngest of 3 boys. And she's an incredible lady, has this incredible resilient story. I learned about these things as I was getting older in my teenage years and into my adulthood. And I just couldn't imagine someone that had that much love to give and helped so many other people in the world around me without ever asking for anything back, had been by herself on the streets for so long.
Being homeless is not an identity, it's an experience people go through, from losing their jobs, from, you know, being in the foster care system and not having anybody there to support you. It could happen to anybody, and we should be able to support families experiencing this type of situation.
How do you think the city of Philadelphia could continue to end homelessness?
I think they can continue by providing funding to emergency housing services like the Red Shield. I think there could be some more beds open.
When you talk about like space, so when there is no space, do they go to like other homeless shelters?
There are homeless shelters. It's a really good question. There are other shelters and other emergency housing facilities outside of OSH that folks can go to and try as well. There aren't a ton, but there are some, yeah. But they get full too. I mean, the whole system at large, whether it's just OSH or, you know, shelter outside of OSH, we're always mostly at capacity because there are a ton of families in need, and, you know, OSH and all these other providers are doing the best that they can. I mean, it is an overcrowded system right now, and we do need more monetary support coming in for shelter services.
We've also, the city of Philadelphia has really been doing a really good job this year at counting unaccompanied youth experiencing homelessness. So I'd like to see that continue to grow so we can get some real accurate figures to be able to provide funding.
Pictures painted in my head, something's trying to stop me, and I can't see.
It's good to know that there are places that people can go with their families on any given night to receive food, counseling, and shelter. However, it does sound like Philadelphia needs more beds, so that way shelters don't have to turn away families.
I definitely agree with you on that one, Jocelyn.
Up next, we go to West Philadelphia to visit Journey to Home, a project of mural arts.
This interdisciplinary project showcases the artwork of young people and seeks to generate dialogue among diverse stakeholders.
Clinton's there to show us what's up.
Hi, I'm Clinton, and we're here with POPPYN down here in West Philadelphia at 41st and Lancaster at the Journey to Home project. Journey to Home is a project that illuminates the housing insecurity that youth in Philadelphia face. They've been around for a long time and making big impacts in the community. So let's go check it out and see what's poppin'.
Journey to Home is a public art project sponsored by Mural Arts that's sort of intended to illuminate the fact that here in Philadelphia we have well over 2,000 undocumented homeless teens. And so we work with people who are afflicted by or who've been impacted by being homeless for whatever reason.
I was homeless before, and I understand what's needed for this type of project, so.
But what you're looking at is a door made out of paper. People that were involved in this project were interviewed, and those interviews were transcribed. What we're doing now is using the old transcripts from those interviews to tell a brand new story. So we're taking things from, what might have been a negative situation, and then writing about positive things about the ideal home or about a better future.
As far as the homelessness in the city, people won't know that, there's a lot of people that's out here that's homeless and people won't ever know. And then they don't know the resources, so hopefully this project will put a big spotlight on the resources for the homeless and make change.
So every second Friday here in Lancaster, this sort of avenue right here, there's something called, it's called Second Friday. And what it is it's ran by sort of local shop owners. So what we've done, we sort of partnered up with them, and we've coordinated these monthly events in our space here at Journey to Home that's meant to sort of create a safe space for young people where we have music, we have food, we have entertainment, we have guest speakers, and all these young people from all over the city. That might have been directly impacted by the issue of housing insecurity or homelessness, or they're just advocates for the cause. We've also have a public art project that's being done outside of this. So we're actually doing a big mural a block away from this location.
I come here to try to make a difference and serve my community or whatever community in the city, and also work creating art. I love to make art. I'm into art. So that's why I'm here.
The home is a place of no worries, hope, family. My idea of new house would be something different together, opportunities, and what type of future I want for my child.
Art's sort of therapeutic, and when you're doing things with your hands and you're talking, it becomes less about what the art is, but more about the interaction between artists and participant, and
Do you believe there's something in Philadelphia that is creating a lot of homeless children? Do you think there's something that could change that?
Basically, like, they shutting schools down, then kids they looking at the government like they not formed, and some of the kids' parents really not formed, and they just look to the streets, they just run to the streets for comfort. And people don't notice like what they really going through.
You're not the only one that's going through it. Like, a lot of people going through something. And just don't be so quick to judge. I would say keep moving forward. Don't get caught up, stuck in going backwards. You keep doing it. If you keep doing the same thing is gonna happen. So you gotta switch it up. And sometimes you gotta seek that knowledge if you're not getting from school, because school too, on one side it is good, but then your teachers and all that, they don't know what's going on at home. They don't know what happens when you leave that building.
The flash mobs and stuff, like, a lot of them kids probably homeless, just staying with their friends at their house, couch hopping, house hopping for real.
we're trying to use this project to inspire policymakers to better fund the local resources, the local service providers, So we're sort of working towards that cause.
The government got to open their eyes and realize, like, they need to stop opening up jails and open up schools, like.
Josh, did you know that over 40% of homeless youth identify as LGBTQ?
Yes, while homeless youth typically experience severe family conflict as a primary reason for their housing insecurities, LGBT youth, once homeless, are at a higher risk for victimization, mental health problems, and unsafe sexual practices.
Up next, we visit the Attic Youth Center, a center for LGBTQ youth and allies right here in Center City, Philadelphia.
The Attic is a good resource for meals, counseling, support groups, and a judgment-free environment for LGBTQ youth and allies.
Let's check them out.
Hey y'all, it's POPPYN. I'm Tiffany. I'm here at the Attic Youth Center located in Center City. The Attic Youth Center serves LGBTQ youth, but we're here today to focus on how the Attic Center supports homeless youth in particular. So let's go check it out.
The Attic is 21 this year. It started in 1993 as a support group in the attic of a mainstream youth organization in Philadelphia. After about a month or so, there was a support group that was happening. So many young people, so many LGBTQ young people started to come out that the person who's running the group, who's our now founder and director, realized that we needed to do something bigger.
And our young people, ages 14 to 23, come and participate in programs which span from life skills help to yoga to drag to fitness to student government, all types of groups. And we have things like HIV testing, we have free counseling.
How's your experience here at the Attic Youth Center? I was very shy at first because it was my first time learning about LGBTQ and LGBTQ culture. So going through it and learning everything from drag to open mics to gender identity to learning how people work and learning about different relationships, friends and family, it has really helped me to grow into this young 19-year-old individual that I am.
In our research, we have found that over 40% of homeless teens in the United States identify themselves with LGBT. In what kind of ways has the attic helped to combat these statistics?
People can come and receive support, and many people who come here are homeless and they don't receive support from their family. We also provide 2 meals a day, one usually like snacks and pastries, and the second one being a hot meal, which we have every day. We also have services here such as getting into housing programs. We have HIV testing. We have job readiness, all those types of skills so people can basically go from one place in their life to another. And also we do a lot of work training child welfare professionals, just so those caseworkers and DHS workers and everything like that can better help LGBTQ youth going forward.
I was put into a shelter recently, actually in January, and I stayed there for like a month and a half because my mother didn't really agree with the fact that I'm gay for religious reasons.
In the 23 years that I have been working here, I have seen young people between the ages of 13 and 16 or 17, their parents totally put them out of the house.
She fought me to near death, and I felt in danger for my life, so I had nowhere to go.
45% of all of the youth that come in here are homeless. They are transitional. They go from different day programs, and this is one of the programs that they also access here.
The attic and people I knew helped me place me into a shelter, which was...
In December 2000, philanthropist and activist James Bryson joined forces with faith-based agencies in the Attic Youth Center to create the Bryson Institute. By providing education, outreach, and consultation services, the Bryson Institute of the Attic Youth Center seeks to improve the climate and support systems for lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, and questioning people, and specifically for LGBTQ youth.
We saw youth coming in with issues around their schools, with issues around employment, with issues around their faith communities, and we realized that while the attic is a wonderful place, that unless we are educating these communities and making them better places to receive the youth, then inevitably our work is limited.
So where do you see the Attic Youth Center going in about 5 years?
What I would like to see is for the attic to have a building that is large enough for us to have the capacity to have a shelter built in, to have showers there, also to have washers and dryers, and to have a medical doctor, a dentist, and a psychologist and psychiatrist on staff so that when the youth come in, we'll already have the appropriate different needs for them in place.
What I hope youth to get out of the attic is a place where they can feel safe and respected, a place where they can go where they don't have anywhere else to go, like a safe haven, sort of. And that's what the attic is. It's a safe haven for young and older LGBTQ youth and adults. It's a place for you to grow. That's what I hope for you to get to grow more in themselves and in their identity.
Is there any final things you want our teen viewers to know?
Yes, the Attic Youth Center, we are open Monday through Friday. We open at 3 p.m. every day. The Attic has been around for over 20 years, and the majority of the people who come here are friends of friends and through word of mouth and things like that. So if you have a friend or if you know someone who could benefit from our programming, send them down. We're right on 16th and Spruce, right down in Center City, and we'd love to see you.
We're back, and today's episode is about youth experiencing homelessness. Almost 40% of people experiencing homelessness are youth under the age of 18, and 46,924 unaccompanied youth and minors were counted in a 2013 report by the Department of Housing and Urban Development.
But this isn't information that a lot of people know. Let's hit the streets to find out what people know and think they know about housing insecurity and youth facing this issue.
Alright, hi, I'm King. I'm here with
Kyrie Moore.
And we're going to be interviewing Kyrie on homelessness. So Kyrie, what comes to mind when you think of homelessness?
Oppression and depression. Like, I hate to see homeless people outside in the streets.
So how do you feel about homelessness in the U.S.?
I feel like it's a big epidemic, not only in the Philadelphia, but throughout the whole United States.
It's not just not having a house. It's also like the feeling of what am I going to eat the next minute.
How many teens in the U.S. do you think are homeless?
I'd say maybe 1 in 4. It seems like I know it's a lot.
I'll go with a few 100,000.
1,000.
Well, actually, it's 1.7 million. How do you feel about this?
I mean, that's definitely a lot of people spread all across the nation.
That's a huge number, compared to the 300-something thousand people or million people who are in the U.S. That's a big fraction of it.
That's actually really surprising and disgusting.
It's a little disappointing. I'm sure there's more that we could do to help preventative services and things like that.
Okay, do you think the city can do anything about this?
We gotta pay more attention to what the kids go home to. Like, working in education, yeah, we can say that the schools don't have enough money, but until we address what the kids go home to, if they have a home, we're always gonna have a problem.
The city could stop caring about greed and just money.
How much would it cost to run a shelter just for young people?
Money in the after-school programs, provide better teachers, make them more aware of what will happen.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Thank you again, sir.
And that's
what's popping.
Clearly, there's a lot of misinformation about housing insecurity out there. Hopefully, this episode helps raise some awareness.
In our next segment, we visit the school district to check out the Teen Evolution Experience Network.
This program is a program run by the school district with the goals of empowering and supporting youth to pursue higher education and career opportunities.
Let's go check them out.
Hey everybody, this is Terence. I'm here with the POPPYN crew. We're at Broad and Spring Garden at the School District of Philadelphia building. And we're here to check out the Teen Evolution Experience Network, also known as the TEEN program. It is a program to help students that are dealing with homelessness and to make sure that they get a quality education. So we're about to go in and see what's popping.
Hello, my name is Montez, and this is what POPPYN. I'm here with
Nafis Carter.
Nice to meet you. Would you mind telling us a little bit about your organization?
Of course. Our organization is called Education for Children and Youth Experiencing Homelessness. We work under the School District of Philadelphia, and what our program does is we service youth that are experiencing homelessness from K to 12. We also have our Teen Evolution Experience Network after school program. It's an educational enrichment program for 9th through 12th graders.
Teen Evolution Experience Network, or TEEN for short, is a program that is designed to locate, identify, and support Philadelphia high school students who are experiencing a form of homelessness, and we help them with their post-secondary academic and career pursuits.
Hey, this is Terence. I'm here today with Rashawn. He is a participant at the TEENS program here at the School District of Philadelphia. And so can you tell me exactly how did you get involved with the program?
Well, I came down here because my TransPass was actually messed up from school, and they introduced me to Nafis and Miss Janice and all them. So they were telling me they help people with job resumes, they help people to better themselves and their character. So I figured that this would be a great space for me to work on myself.
How exactly did you get involved with the TEEN program?
Well, one of my friends at Ben Franklin, he was going here, and we were just in school one day. He was like, you should come to the TEEN program at the school district. And I was like, what? Program at school district? He was like, yeah, just check it out. And I came one day,
And I met Nafis, and ever since then, I ain't missed a day.
We have workshops on various subjects: scholarships and financial aid, resume writing, job skills, and also character enrichment. So it could be a workshop about self-worth, self-identity, self-esteem, all these different things to build up our students and let them know that they, like any other student normally housed, can make it and be a success in their future.
How would you say that you've progressed throughout the program?
Well, I learned how to cope with people better because for real, like I used to just walk around and not care about people's feelings. And they learned how to teach. They taught me proper etiquette.
I mean, if I wasn't here, I'd be sitting in the house somewhere doing nothing. So, just give me something to do, something to think about.
We are their extended family, and they can come here anytime they need to. Whatever supports they need, they can contact us, and we're always open.
The biggest challenge for youth in Philly is that not enough people are aware of the various circumstances that youth go through.
Since I was little, I have a stable home for real. Like every year, my family ended up moving. It was hectic, and it was 6 of us living into a house with only 3 bedrooms, so we had to make room where we fit. So it was kind of hard.
I just floated around all my life. I never lived. Like I got a dad, like he in my life, but I don't never see him. So I just float around with like different people all the time.
They came and they cut our lights off, and for about a month or 2, we was in a house with no lights, and it was hard living there for real. But we made the best of it. We used candles and everything.
Hey, people just think I was a normal kid, but I got a lot of problems going on. But I don't let it get to me. I don't show it. I just, even though it's in my head. When I first came here, I was reading the paper. It was like homelessness and teen homeless. I'm like, oh, I ain't really homeless, but I still come. And it is people in here that in the program that live in the shelter, and I didn't even know that, but it ain't right for I don't think it's right for kids to live in the shelter.
So what exactly are the laws that are in place to protect youth experiencing homelessness, especially when it comes to their education?
So the law that's in place for students who are experiencing homelessness is the McKinney-Vento Homeless Assistance Act, which is actually under the No Child Left Behind Act. This is the law that the National Education for Children and Youth Experiencing Homelessness program, which is under the Department of Education, is completely governed by. The parameters of this law are that children experiencing homelessness are entitled to a adequate public education. One of the issues that the law protects is enrollment of students experiencing homelessness. Now, students experiencing homelessness have 2 options. They can either stay in their school of origin, and that kind of helps because frequent changes can often cause students experiencing homelessness to fall 6 months behind both academically and socially. So staying in the same school can help them with the stability in an unstable situation. However, if it is more prudent for a child to move to a neighborhood school, then enrollment in that school is supposed to be immediate. There are to be no delays, no barriers to that child enrolling in school. There are funds designated through the Title I grant that provide the students with different necessities.
If everyone helps out and lends a helping hand, that this could be a situation easily avoided.
Sometimes it takes an active community dialogue, not just administrators, but the people in the community, to talk about the issue, to really define homelessness so that they understand the full definition of homelessness and not that stereotypical definition. If we can get on that type of basis, the district, the community, Philadelphia at large, we could really impact and make some changes.
Even though our city's public school systems are suffering from budget cuts, it's good to know there are still programs out there that serve to educate and support youth, especially youth dealing with housing insecurities.
Unfortunately, we weren't able to cover all the resources available for youth facing housing insecurity, but we definitely want to give them a shout out.
To our viewers who are watching, we here at POPPYN want you to know that you are not alone and that there are resources available to you once you identify yourself as someone who is facing housing insecurities.
We want people to be more informed and proactive allies.
That wraps up our episode on youth homelessness.
Remember that you can connect with us on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and even Instagram to help us continue this conversation online.
So thanks for watching,
and that's what's poppin'.